Alright, so this is not an indictment whatsoever of the smartwatch. As you guys can see, I have one myself. It's a bit of an older model, but hey, it's still a smartwatch nonetheless. Now, quick story time. Try to remember back whenever we were still little boys. So I'm 30 years old now, so depending on your age, you'll understand this or not. Back when I was still a little boy, I remember playing pretend with my friends, and what we would do is that one of them would hide in one area of the living room, and I would hide in one area of the bedroom, so on and so forth. And we had these little toy walkie-talkies. So we would pretend to be like super secret agents and stuff like that, like maybe we were police officers. And another thing that we would always play pretend with is as if we were able to speak to our watches. Fast forward all the way till today, and now we actually have these devices and this kind of technology come to fruition. So all I am basically saying here is that at some point, the smartwatch was in every single millennial boy's, now man's, minds, and it's pretty much like a dream come true. Smartwatches were actually first in development around the 1920s, though they hadn't really reached the public anytime soon. It wasn't until 1970 that the first smartwatch came out. And those smartwatches back then, all they were basically able to do is work like calculators, such as the Casio ones that we see today. Fast forward another 20 years from 1970 to 1990, and now the smartwatches were able to receive and send messages, such as with a pager. If you don't know what a pager is, then congratulations, you are not 30 years old yet. Fast forward all the way to 2013, and this is when the Apple Watch first released their smartwatches. Then the following year, Android released theirs, and it was at this time that we got the modern day smartwatch, such as the ones that we see today. Now, before I get further into the video, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to divide this video into pretty much 3 parts. And those 3 parts are going to be the pros of the smartwatch, how to actually style it well, and why it isn't stylish. Getting started with the pros, the first one being the most common thing is that you're able to send and receive messages as well as send and receive phone calls. Pro number 2 is that the smartwatch doesn't only just provide services for its user, but it also even receives data from its user, such as the amount of calories burned throughout the day and the amount of steps you've taken throughout your day. Pro number 3 is that it's able to work somewhat like a computer, not exactly the most convenient way to use the internet, but it can use the internet nonetheless. And pro number 4 is that you are able to plan and organize data, which that's very convenient for a watch because for the longest time and traditionally watches have always been used to tell only time, but the fact that you're able to organize, plan things can also come in handy. And now let's talk about the most appropriate way of styling the smartwatch in my opinion. So personally, I think the best way to style the smartwatch is going to be with something street, casual, or athletic attire. So for this example that I have here for you guys, I actually just wore a well-fitted t-shirt, some tech joggers, some gym shoes, and a baseball cap. Of course, you can also wear this with any kind of athletic attire, such as a gym shirt, some gym shorts, gym shoes, and the baseball cap if you want to throw that on. But I also don't see an issue with a smartwatch being worn in the workplace. So, you know, if you have a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday or whatever it may be, and you're going to be wearing some chinos, a polo, or maybe a dress shirt with some chinos, then the smartwatch is completely fine. The only time that I personally think that you should, you know, make the intentional effort to look a little bit better and try the traditional watch is going to be for black tie events or dinner dates or anything that has to do with pretty much wearing a suit. Now, of course, if you are able to afford a 24 karat diamond encrusted gold watch, then this video does not apply to you. This video is obviously for the average generic smartwatch. And now let's talk about the reasons why it isn't very stylish and why it's not the most ideal choice. Reason number 1 being that everybody and their mother is wearing one nowadays. Just go out and pay attention to everybody, and you're going to quickly realize that the smartwatch is pretty much being worn by everybody, including children. And what this means is that it's no longer really a fashion statement. It's more or so a gadget that people just slap on their wrist and get on about their days. This does not at all mean to go out there into the world and be a judgy freak. It just means that if you want to stand out and make an improvement in your style in this particular area of your life, then standing out is definitely going to take a different kind of choice. And nowadays, everybody's a little bit in that herd behavior when it comes to the smartwatch. So wearing something more traditional is definitely going to make you stand out. Reason number two why I don't think it's ideal is because half the people that got the smartwatch didn't really do it by deliberate choice. Half those people actually got the smartwatch because it was part of a phone plan or a holiday bundle deal. Not even gonna lie, I was one of those people that fell into the whole holiday bundle deals. And chances are that you're one of those people too. Don't lie. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself, man. Reason number three will be because a lot of people say that they get the smartwatch for fitness or exercise purposes. Let's be honest, guys. The smartwatch is not a magical piece of device. It is an excellent gadget. However, it doesn't create miracles, and trust me, if you weren't exercising before, chances are that the smartwatch is not going to, it may not, I don't mean to sound discouraging, okay? But if you weren't already planning to exercise to begin with, then the smartwatch isn't going to do anything for you. Spoiler alert. And if you are in fact using it for fitness reasons, then all the power to you, congratulations. I personally don't even like using it for fitness reasons. Maybe it's because I have this one and it's kind of clunky. This is the Galaxy One. It's a little clunky, so I don't like to have anything in my wrist. I rather have my hands completely free when I'm lifting weights. It's just a personal choice, but I might just give a Fitbit a try someday. Who knows? Reason number four why I don't think is the most ideal or very stylish is because most people wear it with all kinds of attire and it's no longer become something special or unique. It's more or so like a piece of clothing that people just slap on and get on about their days. And as mentioned earlier, if you do want to in fact stand out a little bit, then I believe that being somewhat unique and putting on something traditional is not only going to make you look great, but it's also going to make you feel great, I believe. And reason number five is going to be because people do not wear the smartwatch with the same intention that they wear the traditional watch with. So chances are that when you do put on the traditional watch, it takes a little bit more love, a little bit more intention, and you actually put in some regard to putting it on, right? So if you're gonna throw on the suit, chances are that you want to wear the traditional watch. If you're going to go to an interview, chances are that you're going to put on your traditional watch. I mean, that's probably going to be like more of a valued possession if you ask me. And again, as mentioned earlier, the smartwatch is no longer really just placed on as a watch. It's more or so a cool gadget that each and every one of us slaps on and, you know, out the door we go. And now before I actually close the video, I want to kind of break down why I believe guys aren't wearing traditional watches anymore. And I believe it's for two main reasons. So I do have one right here. So I believe the very first reason is because guys will, and I see this all the time in like other guys' comments, you'll see things such as, well, what the hell do I need a watch for when I got my phone? I can tell time. Well, the same thing can kind of be said about your smartwatch because essentially the smartwatch is just a wrist phone. Chances are you're not using it for, you're probably not using it for anything if I'm being real. So here is a traditional watch, right? This is a Geneva watch. It's not that much of an expensive watch. And this kind of brings forth reason number two. Reason number two is because I get the feeling that a lot of guys and overall people think that these are more expensive, and that couldn't be further from the truth. When I got this, when it was first released, I believe it was $300, and I'm almost 100% sure. What am I saying? I know for a fact that the newer versions of this are still hitting the $300 mark. So this watch, I got it at JCPenney for $40, all right? This is a gunmetal Geneva watch with rose gold arms and studs inside. This is a beautiful watch. I got this watch about 5 years ago and it's still one of my favorites, and I'll definitely be very sad once it stops running, versus when this one stops running, I'm probably not gonna, I mean, I'll be somewhat upset, but I'm not gonna care as much. I don't know what it is, but I just hold more value for this guy right here than this guy. So in closing, I do believe the smartwatch is an excellent piece of technology and a step forward into the future or whatever it may be. However, it's not exactly a piece of jewelry. In the feminine world, women, They wear bracelets, they fix their hair a lot better than guys do. They wear necklaces, earrings, they got bracelets, you name it, they got all sorts of things. But if there's one thing that has always stood out in the world of men, it has always been the watch, and that's why I believe wearing a traditional watch is a timeless piece of jewelry, specifically if you're a man. I would say wear the smartwatch 70% of the time, because I did mention it is pretty sturdy, and personally I don't care so much if it takes, if it takes a beating. So 70% smartwatch, 30% traditional watch. The point is, just give the traditional watch just give it a try, wear it here and there, maybe during the weekends, dinner dates, black tie events, whatever it may be. Just give it a try. I'm sure that it'll make you look and feel better. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps it all up. Thank you all very much for taking the time and watching this video. I did not want this video to be that long, so I'm quite apologetic about that. But again, I'm very, very thankful you guys finished it. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. And as always, stay intentional. See ya.